We'll go over charts like we normally do. If you have markets you want to look at, let me know, and we can certainly take a look at them. Any questions or anything else you have? Here's, I want to, let me get to that in a second, Mark. I want to put in, I don't know if any of you are Facebook users, but I am now starting to put out quite a bit of opportunities, and if you have any questions, things like that. I'm putting stuff out every day, every other day. There's the Facebook address, @SeidenSam. You can always search me there, and I'll connect with you, and you'll get this stuff sent or access to it. You can see it. Putting lots of markets and stuff out there. Last week and this week, just starting to really pile into that. So we'll be able to have simplified versions of what we do here on a regular basis. Of course, it's all free in social media. Yes, OTA is offering online courses. They're very basic. So the core strategy online, is it's very basic. It covers, I think, pretty much what we cover here. I mean, if you've been coming to these, you're getting core strategy, and we're looking at lots of markets. So, you can look into it a little bit deeper. I think it's more for the newer person. And, Is that helpful? So, okay. Again, it's more designed for newer people. But, you get the basic core strategy lesson in there, and then you learn the basics of the forex markets and things like that. Yeah, what you see, and that's not the XLT that they're offering on the website, or in that initial online course. So you could certainly do it, do it all online. But do you need XLT for making a living? That's a great question. So I'll be, completely honest and candid with you. And if you have any questions beyond that, ask me and I'll answer them. There are people, and I've seen this now with the Online Trading Academy for the last 11 years, that come in and maybe consume a little of some of the articles and things like this, and they really they need that hand-holding experience live in a classroom or even live online in the XLTs all the time. They absolutely need that to be successful. And there's also people that consume enough of the articles and stuff, and they figure it out and make it work. A lot of those people are the people that were kind of trading already, or at least interested in trading. They don't need someone to teach them what a platform is or things like that. They're trading, they're just not making money. So those people are the ones that tend to come to the FX streets and consume a lot of the YouTube stuff, and they just, they can make it work from there. So that would be kind of my answer. Those are kind of the two main groups. Maybe I'll answer a question that you're not asking, which I think is a very important. The main reason why people are not successful at making a living at this is because they overcomplicate it. And that's a big challenge for people, because when you're out there kind of alone on an island, you don't know what you don't know. So when you search the internet and have access to tons of different strategies, as a new trader, how do you know what works and what doesn't? How would you be expected to know? I always think back to when I was, I built a house, or, I had a house built. I would never do that again. As much as I know about trading in the markets, that's how little I know about about properly building a house. And I wasn't building it with my own hands, but I was, had a builder, an architect, and all that. Wow, was I into a world that I had no clue of, and made every mistake you could possibly make, and probably overpaid for everything. Does that make sense? So the one piece of advice I can give you on that front is, and don't take my word for any of this. I mean, you need to make decisions for yourself based on sound logic. And the logic, I would say, is this: the only trading strategies that work are the ones that are exactly aligned with how you make money buying and selling anything in life. Does that make sense? You can't get away from buy low, sell high, or sell high, buy low. There's no way to make money at this outside of that, right? So if you agree with that, then the next logical question is, okay, where do I buy low and where do I sell high? That's it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that is the point. That's what I meant by when I say people overcomplicate it. I would say it's very simple, but it's not easy, and it's not easy because people think too much and overcomplicate everything. I mean, we do that. Think of how most people in every part of their life, they make things harder than they have to be, right? We always want to just push the easy button, and the funny thing is, I think we always have an easy button. We just don't push it. Not okay pushing it. All right, let's move on. If there's any challenges you have, that you want to go over, certainly bring them up here. But if you have any markets, I can go through my list. If not, just type a market into the chat and we can go to it. Yeah, unfilled and filled orders, absolutely. So someone give me a market they want to look at, and we'll look at that market and answer that question up there. All right, the old favorite, the euro. It's funny because I'm 46 years old and I still feel like I'm young, lots of energy, play sports and everything. But it's funny to know that when I started trading, the euro didn't exist. Definitely makes you feel old. All right. So let's figure out where the euro is likely to go and where it's not likely to go, right? So make sure you understand this. And maybe I'll do it in form of a question to really help you understand it. Because if I just tell you, I think you'll get it. If I ask you the question, it forces you to think. So go ahead and answer in the chat. The two things we need to figure out are where are prices going to turn and where are they going to go, right? So let's start with the first one. Where do prices turn in any market, in any time frame? Is it where you have unfilled orders or filled orders? Which one? Right, exactly. Filled or unfilled orders. Okay. So by definition, the areas on the chart where we can expect price to move quickly is where all the orders are filled. Does everybody understand that? That's why this all just comes down to filled orders and unfilled orders. Make sense? All right. So what does this look like on a chart? Let's look at the euro. Start with a larger time frame. Not that one. Let's go to the 4-hour maybe. 4 hours good here. I want to look left just a little bit. Well, a little bit more than a little bit. Let's do this. Okay. So let's do the demand side and the supply side. So right now, price is rallying. And let me just look at a small time frame for a second, just to make sure that we don't have anything here that I'm missing. Okay, we have something here. All right, let's do the small time frame example first. So when we look above price, okay, and we look left and higher, we get to this little level right here. So here we have this whole thing is a big rally base drop, but coming out of that, notice this little area of trading right here, and then price collapses from this level. This is really and I'll just take the whole thing. But this is the origin of this move. It's right here. And we understand that the reason why prices could not keep trading there and move lower is because of the supply and demand is out of balance there, right? Okay. Now prices stopped up here. I'm not talking about this level at the moment, or I'm not going to talk about it at all because we've already been there and it worked great. I'm just saying here was a big stack of sell orders. Banks were aggressively selling the euro here. This is our classic supply. But price has already been back there, so some of those orders are filled. The next level higher is right here. Okay. We have all our odds enhancers at play, and so on. Now, where are prices likely to go? Well, when we look at this price action here, where's the demand below current price? Well, that's not demand. This pivot low is certainly not demand, okay? And we don't really have any demand here, okay? None of this represents the picture of demand. Now, below this area here, so focus on our supply zone. Now, I want you to focus on this. And I'll explain. So all of this price action right here, and let's change that out. Whoops, let's not do that. And we won't do this with every trade. I just want to make sure that you clearly understand this. So fill, let's just make this gray or something. Okay. So does everybody understand that the fact that we have very little trading here and price collapses from that level, banks are aggressively selling up here? Does everybody understand that? And if that statement was not true and supply and demand was equal up here, wouldn't prices just keep trading sideways? They would, but they couldn't. Why? Supply exceeds demand. What about the price action, all the price activity in the gray box? Does that represent, let me ask you this, does this picture, the entire picture in the gray box, represent price points where orders are unfilled or orders are filled? What would you say? What does the price action in the gray box represent? Right, filled, exactly. Look at all of the trading that's gone on here. Number one. Number two, it's all this up and down, wide and wimpy trading. Does everybody, you understand that? For example, these price points right here. So one thing we don't do, now look where my arrow is. I'm not even pointing to the chart, I'm pointing to the price points. Okay? Think of it this way and really try to focus here. In the price points that I'm pointing to here, say, right here, right? 111.60 to 112. Just take this right here. Can there possibly be a significant amount of demand, unfilled buy orders in this price range right now? If there was, how did price go from 116 all the way down to here? And it wasn't some quick spike. Price spent tons of time below that. Does that make sense? Really think the logic through. Because if you get this, you've got it. So the fact that this happened tells me for a fact there can't be this massive amount of unfilled buy orders at 111.80 or 111.60 or somewhere, anywhere in here. Absolutely there's new buy orders, no question. But we don't care, you and I don't care about, there's always going going to be new buy orders, new sell orders coming into the market. We don't care about any old orders. What we care about is the footprint of a big bank or big banks or financial institutions or the big smart money. Follow me? There's always new buy and sell orders, always little supply and demand levels. What we care about are the footprints of the elephants. Maybe that's a better way to say it. Everybody loves elephants, right? And they leave big footprints. Okay? All the little, gazelles and turtles and all these other wild animals that prance around, they're there. We want to find the elephants. Make sense? Okay. So if there was a bank or banks or what a large amount of demand, who cares whose it is, this is not what the picture would look like. You'd see very little trading and price would shoot up away from that level and not come back because that demand is so strong and so big. Make sense? All right. Okay, let's keep moving. So there's the supply. So the demand is lower. And to find that demand, let's go to a smaller price point chart. I'm sorry, bigger. Bigger, bigger, bigger. And we need to find the demand below this pivot low. And that's quite a bit lower. Okay. Actually, just below this pivot low, we barely touched this level. So we'd find some down there. But still, that's a great profit zone. Okay. Remember, the downside, at least for right now with the euro, it's not unlimited. It's still limited. But it's far. I mean, the profit zone is nice from that level up there. Keep in mind, the dollar is the one that still has plenty of room to the downside. Right? It has some room to rally at points, but big picture, there's still room to the downside. Let's go to any other markets you want to look at. Again, I can continue to go through my list. But I could certainly... Dollar Swiss, sure. All right. Now, on the surface, this should really take a few minutes because the euro and the Swiss should look very same or similar, but not always the case. Okay. If we go to that small time frame, though, the opportunity is very similar, and but I think if we go to let me try this. Could probably get it all in one picture. Let's go. Let's keep it a little bit bigger so we don't have to scrunch. Okay, so we have this big pivot high here. Coming out of that, we have this little supply zone here. Okay. And again, look at the picture that's opened up. This is something most people do not focus on. So we have some supply here, and we'd want our stop, well above the level. We can get into that another time, but again, the fact that price is where it's at right now tells us, well, let me ask you this. Given where price is at right now, can there be any demand above where we're at right now? I'm not talking about just banks or whatever. I'm saying any. Any unfilled buy orders above current price? No, there can't be. Right, there can't be. Right. So the fact the price came down to here tells us we already know we have a profit zone down to here, and a really good one. I mean, look at all this trading. All these orders are just filled, right? So when we come down a couple time frames, you're going to see we do have some demand right down here. Let's just do that real quick, and then we'll put that target in. Okay, so below this level, we're going to put our blue line, which is our target, right in here. Okay, and this isn't a, I'm not in love with this opportunity because I don't know that we're probably not going to go up there anytime soon for an entry, but yeah. Okay, if we were having this conversation about an hour ago, we'd have a great level right here we'd be shorting against, right? Again, you can just see the strategy playing out over and over. All right, so let's go to a different one where we can really find something that is likely to hit soon. This is one from this morning. I know we planned it out yesterday. I don't know if anybody caught the dollar gapping up into supply, right? With, again, obviously no demand anywhere close. And you need to make sure you know what's going on with the dollar, where the levels are, where they're not, and so on to get ready for anything else you're going to trade, basically. And now the dollar has a lot of supply above, as seen on the larger time frame. Okay? Let's see what that number is. Okay. Yeah, let's look at the NQ. So what's nice about the equity index markets is they are, well, you'll see. They're up quite a bit, but look what's happened over the past, I don't know, let's go to this one. Here's what's happened over the past, let's go to the 60 first. Let's go to that line. Here's what's happened over the past, 24 hours to, a few days. Prices are going sideways, which again tells us, even though we don't have a supply zone up here, because we're getting close to all-time high territory. Prices just haven't been going higher, and prices have dipped down quite a ways, about 20 points lower from where we're at right now. So we're in this 20-point range the last week or so. Prices could certainly move higher, but the fact that for a week now they're just moving sideways in this 20-point range, you need to be very, very careful. Right? In other words, even if prices break out, which I expect them to, it's a breakout that is also likely to fail. And then we would just buy a pullback down to the demand zone. And it doesn't mean don't be bullish equity index markets. We're always bullish equity index markets. Just either from pullbacks to demand zones or breakouts to the upside with clear profit zones. That's the difference. And if you come down and look at the very small time frame, again, this area over here that I'm kind of circling, is this the picture of filled orders or unfilled orders? All of this stuff, all the way down to 57.78. Filled orders, right? Does everybody get that? Yeah. So just be careful. There's a great floor in the NASDAQ and the S&P and the Russell and others. It's just not up here. So as a short-term trader, right now, we wouldn't be buying anything until quite a bit lower, below the range. Okay. What's very likely to happen, too, is a new supply zone develops. possibly like you're getting right here. See how prices fell out of this level? Now they're back up into here. Again, it's low risk. This is an opportunity where, again, I'm not going to take this, but even if you did, you're only risking 2-3 points to possibly make at least 10. When we move over to the S&P, this one's a little bit weaker, but look at the small time frames. Again, you're in that same type of range, but let me blow this up. Okay, can even blow up a little bit more, I think. Let's just put on a big time frame, that we will. There we go. So notice over the past couple days, prices cannot get above 24.1350. We're right under that now, right? Less than 2 points. So again, is this a breakout you're going to want to buy, or a breakout you may consider fading? So let's put this area in. Right, there we go. Yeah, it's low risk, and if prices, it's low risk. Or we can buy a pullback to the 24.0350 demand. Make sense? Okay. Any questions on all that? All right. I think we're good. Let's go to. All right. Any other markets you want to take a look at? Otherwise, again, I can go through my list and get some time to look at a few more markets. This is one that I believe we looked at last time. This is a larger time frame chart of gold. Yes, deep in the level, but we're starting to turn. That's why we have zones. Yeah, let's look at the Aussie dollar. So just watch gold. Again, it's kind of still up in the level, so, there you go. Yes, let's look at the Aussie. It's funny, the Aussie, every time I look at this chart, it's like, if you just shorted the weekly supply zone for the last 2 years, it's kind of all you needed to do, It's the gift that keeps on giving. So let's go to the 60-minute. Hey, glance some supply, some demand. You're probably looking at the supply side of this, it seems like. Oh, no, maybe demand side. Yeah, this one is, the thing is with this one, you've got some ugly supply sitting just above, but you also have some decent demand sitting just below. So this is one of the many examples where you have supply and demand, but they're probably too close to each other. So at least in this time frame, the opportunity that we're seeing here, we would probably move on and find a better opportunity. But what are you looking at here? Or are you looking much higher? Here's the other scenario, though. If this supply in the 74.65-ish area is filled, meaning if prices can get up to the top of this level, I would gladly buy a pullback to the 74.50 area. Does that make sense? You used to have too many, buy and sell orders just above and just below. Good levels. You're probably going to be right in your analysis, but there's not enough of a profit zone to make the risk reward worth it. So I would just keep it simple and move on. How about the yen? I haven't looked at the dollar yen since last week, so there's some old areas in here. Let me get rid of those. So let's look at this together. And when we started on the larger time frame, work our way down, we don't have a whole lot, at or near current price. We've got a nice supply zone sitting up here, but price is moving in the wrong direction. Not likely to get there anytime soon. So let's go to the 60-minute. Okay. Okay. So here we have a demand zone below current price. Right down here at the, call it 110.05 area. Okay. Now this is not drop-based rally. This is rally-based rally, so just be aware of that. Those are found in the middle of moves, so those are not going to be out at the extremes. Often good levels with the right profit zone, but a little bit lower odds just because again, they're found in the middle of moves. What I like about this is the nearest supply zone is not up till about 112.40. So can you see here how, unlike the Aussie dollar and the dollar yen, we have fresh supply demand zones that are far apart from each other. Does that make sense? You take trades like this, and occasionally if one doesn't work out, it's not a big deal because the ones that do, your profit zones are so big, not a problem at all. Does that make sense? $112, no. 112 is not supply. Okay, we have all this trading activity up here. That means the orders in that area are filled. Okay, that's not the picture of fresh supply. I'm trying to focus you on the picture of fresh supply. That's where the probability of the trade working is highest, risk is lowest, and your risk reward is ideal. Low risk, people say throw around the word risk all the time. And, low risk, high risk really depends on how much actual money you have at risk, compared to your comfort zone and your trading accounts and your bank accounts and all that. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Any other questions, comments? Again, my goal is to help you achieve your trading goals so that you can simply live a better life or live the life you want to live. That's really it. I don't care if you're a day trader, swing trader, longer term position trader. I would suggest that you be very careful with the day trading, but at least if that's how you're starting, But again, the goal is to just where price is going to turn and where are they going to go. Once you get that figured out, just keep it nice and simple and execute your strategy based on your rules. A lot of the rules that we cover in here, we don't cover all the rules, but I try to cover enough to where you can really get this. And I just want to see more money in your pocket, period. So don't forget, I'm putting out a lot of trading ideas, videos, everything else. You could search the Facebook address there. I just put it in the chat. And obviously, we've still got tons of these webinars and everything. But if you have any questions, comments, you can always ask me there too. Happy to help. I check that all the time. And yeah, I think that's it. You can always email me too at Trading Academy. And we've got a lot of great webinars and plans ahead for FX Street. So ask, and you'll get the help you need. All right. Have a great, great day, everyone, and we'll see you next time.